I think we're on. Okay. We'll see. We shall see. We shall see technology. I'm going to kick off my flip-flops because barefootin', da-da-da-da, barefootin', da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can you tell I watched a lot of TV as a kid, knowing all those 60s songs when I was just a baby? Just a baby. Good morning. Or afternoon, I guess technically where you are. Who do we have? We have Blonde Cheryl, Margot, Kath, Danielle, Mama Ellie, Persona, Chris, Marietta, that one Persona, Ola, Chica, ouch, excuse me. I dropped some tea and it was hotter than I thought, Johnny, God. Hey, Sue, nice to see ya. Looking forward to the Destination Decluttered Pen Pal Party, free Pen Pal Party. For those of you who want to be pen pals, nice to see everybody. A good morning. Feeling better than I did yesterday. Isn't that a nice feeling? Did things to help myself feel better. So if you're not feeling so good right now, I offer to you. I hope at this point in your life you know some things. You have some tools in your toolkit that'll make you feel better wherever you're aching. So, do that thing. Do that thing you do. And if it doesn't work, do something else. That's what I say, because that's what I'm doing. It's crazy. I will just share with you. Hey, Laura Gibbon Voorhees, nice to see you. One of the things I just did moments ago was I walked to our local hospital, because I'm within walking distance, and picked up some x-rays. Because that I got literally 10 years ago, almost to the 30-day window. So obviously this is something that kind of recurs for me or hasn't been solved, which was kind of neck, back, posture, that kind of thing. So it cracked me up that every 10 years or so, I keep on saying to myself, do something to improve your posture, to reduce the aches and breaks and things like that. And I've done some things and they're better, but I want to continue to figure out what to do. I don't want to just give up. So I say this to you in the fact that you yourself have been trying to do things declutter-wise and otherwise within the realm of your knowledge and also with the realm of technology to get you to where you want to be feeling better about your cluttered home. But the world changes and so do we. Ideally, we transform ourselves. We evolve into somebody who continues to learn and broadens their horizons and understanding. We don't just stay there going like, no, I did that back then and it didn't work. Try something else. Maybe something else has been invented. Crippity crappity, I think 10 years ago was TikTok even a thing. And now it's such a big part of our lives in many ways. And it may be for a while and it may fade away a la MySpace. So I suggest to you, don't give up on yourself, baby. Don't give up on yourself. Show up, no matter what decade it is, and endeavor to do some things to change the things that bug you. Okay? So sometimes what you can do, even something as easy as tuning into a TikTok live. So I'm Beth, Destination Decluttering Life Coach. Carving out a chunk of time for you and me. I will be here for the entirety of this chunk. You be here for as long as it makes sense for you to. What are you going to do with our chunk of time together? Now, I'm going to be here to encourage you, to give you some accountability, to give you a place where you can maybe express how you're feeling in order to, solve some of your problems. Not just bitching and moaning, but saying, here's my problem, yo, let's solve it. Okay? Now, this is a really fun, I always love to use Kat Roby as an example of how one of the many ways you can use our time together, because I'll be here for about an hour or so. So Kat Roby shows up and she says, hey, I'm here. And then she declares what she's doing. Now, she calls it SBB, Scheduled Beth Blinders. Okay? She comes with, in this chunk of time, I'm going to do I plan on doing the following. I'm going to send the paint estimate. 2, I'm going to fold clothes. I'm going to 3, start packing. And 4, sort to do list pre-trip. And notice what she's saying too. She's saying, I'm packing early for the win. Yeah. So notice that's maybe something Kat normally doesn't do. Maybe she waits till the last minute to do something, doesn't like how that works out, how it feels. She's trying something else. And she's giving herself, notice what we're doing. We are chunking down the time of the day, the hours of the day, and we're saying for this one chunk, I plan on, I hope to, I will take some action on each one of these 4 things. What a great way to start things, with a declaration of intention, with some clear, achievable destinations, I like to call them, and getting some accountability by declaring what she's going to do. Alrighty. Yeah, okay, cool. So Kat Roby is saying, just saw my TikTok about packing early and having lots of time on the day of travel. Yeah, I love this. Erin says, Beth is here, my cue to clean the kitchen. Here are a couple of things I will share with you. I am really, there we go. That one persona is saying, helped me decide, I love it, my declutter project for the day. Going on a trip next week. Mission, organize the bedroom. Notice how certain things can have a ripple effect on something else. Organizing the bedroom will probably make it easier for you to pack, but also it will make it more delightful. And boy, do I like delightful. Delight. Groove is in the heart. I love coming back from a trip and walking into a decluttered home. It's like kind of continuing that vacation feel, even though you're home to your life. The chunking it down. Now, we talk about feeling good in your body. Always want to check in with your body and your nervous system. Your nervous system, if it's way up here, all frantically scrabbly, we want to calm it down. If you're like flatlining, we want to kind of rev you up. So it's a nice little ripple, nice little groove. I love it. Therapy Gal Sue is declaring what she's going to do. I'm walking to get steps for 20 minutes, 20 minutes decluttering paperwork, and 20 minutes to get ready for work. That is so cool, Sue. Notice what Sue is doing. She has declared an amount of time she's going to do something. Pretend this is a timer, okay? She has got her timer. I usually use the one on my phone. And that timer is going to allow her to increase the likelihood that she'll get those 3 things done. I literally did the same thing this prior hour. I did, and it worked really well for me. And I especially, and I'll use this as a learn from me, the things that I would possibly had in the past, like gotten time blindness. And what is time blindness? Is doing something and kind of getting lost in it and losing track of time. You're not tracking your time. You lost your track of time. So what I did this prior hour was similar to what Sue did. I set my timer for 15 minutes. And I went out and I weeded this part of our yard that has all these humongous weeds coming up because we thought they put down grass seed. I don't think they did. I think they put down weed seed, if that's a thing. I knew I wasn't going to get it all done today. I knew I wasn't going to get it all done yesterday. But what has really helped me is setting a timer and going out there for some time to do this project that, to be honest, I'm not particularly psyched about. But setting my timer helps me show up for some time versus no time at all and saying, oh, well, I won't do any today, but I'll do more yesterday. So if you're I won't do it today, but I'll do more yesterday type of person, I highly encourage you. Play with a timer. You've got a timer on your phone. Play with what it's like to say, well, I can't do it all, but I will do some today. Notice the difference. The all or nothing often gets you nothing and then a bit more stress, kind of like the people who are going to be packing for a trip. I may not do it all because there's some things that I need to pack day of, but what could I pack in advance to get myself partially packed so I'm not doing everything at the last minute? So I just offer this to you from my coaching that I share with you, but also seriously, like me testing out these theories and saying, yeah, this really worked. And what I did, because why not, because I could, is I took a picture of what it looked like when I started weeding yesterday. I took a picture of when I ended weeding yesterday, and I took a picture of when I ended today. And I am seeing the progress. Okay? AC Wild is asking, what do you do when you have a naysayer who diminishes all your accomplishments? First of all, I that's a bummer you have that. It is. What I want you to notice, everybody here, you know how oftentimes we talk about how we speak to ourselves, and I use the what's the word? The metaphor of us being the driver, and there's two other people in the car, but it's really us. You've got your backseat driver, and you've got your co-pilot, and you're the driver. Kind of like the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, the 3 is a magic number. So AC Wild, you have what I sometimes call an external backseat driver. You have a real life one. What I would say is do the same thing to that person in a firm but loving way, and a loving way for you. So I would interrupt their habit and pattern of saying nay. I would bring it to their attention. I would notice it myself, and I would allow them the opportunity to notice it too. Hey, wait a minute. Do you realize you're always bumming me out by, raining on my parade? And I notice I said always. I would probably omit that. I would be more specific. Notice right then, can I just interrupt you for a second? I would like to interrupt you for just a second, so you get better at this as you do it. I would literally even possibly use my hand, not like violently, you know what I mean? Like, wow, but firmly. Hold on a minute. Do you notice right there how I was sharing something good with you and you kind of brought me down? I don't like how that makes me feel. You may not mean to make me feel bad, but I'm just making you aware that that makes me feel bad. So please make a plan. Please make an effort to not do that again. Okay? But really, it really is standing up for yourself and saying, we're not going to take it anymore. People may not realize they're doing that. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. That they may be unaware of doing that. I do that sometimes. I do. It's the way I was brought up, and I don't mean to, but man, the things you learn early in life there's a deep groove in your brain because you've done it for decades. So I often have to stop myself. I have stopped myself. I have gone back and apologized and said, I realized I was being a jerk right there. I didn't mean to be so mean or snarky. I'm going to try to do better the next time. But I just wanted you to be aware that I'm aware of it and I feel bad about it. So I ask for forgiveness. But AC Wild, the other thing too is while you're interrupting them, make sure that your own backseat driver isn't doing the same thing and you're practicing quieting them down, noticing that way of speaking to yourself, both internally and somebody else, doesn't make you feel good. Okay? Yes. Now, it's my mother. She's terrible. Got all my goals done, and it was not enough. Not enough for her, but how about you? This is the thing. When we outsource what's wrong with it? When we look outside of ourselves to something else to make us feel good, we have given up our power on whether we feel good or not. When you do this, when you give your power to your mom, you are giving her the opportunity to make you feel bad. When you are able to notice her, get curious, distance, all that, and say, that's her, I choose to feel good about what I've done. And then you look for other people to rev you up that know you've done good stuff. Some people will not change, but you can change how you interact with them. Don't look at a naysayer to be a cheerleader because they may never change. That may be the way that they look at the world. Okay? I love that you're noticing that. I'm sad that you have to notice that. That's a bummer. But once you notice it, then you can say, okay, noticed, what can I do to change the dynamic here? Does that help, AC? I hope it does. And in the meantime, list all your goals right here and we will cheer you on because we know how it feels to be not recognized. So let's recognize you. Okay? Yeah. And trim down your circles. Oh, that's an interesting way to put it. Nice to see you, Anne. Trim down your circles. The crazy thing is, think about this. It's still decluttering. Quality people in your life versus quantity people. Now, that being said, the way our society is structured, it is very difficult to truly eliminate family, though it's not undoable. But you can reduce access. You could not look for somebody because you're just setting yourself for disappointment. If this person has rarely cheered you on, why would you expect them to suddenly change? Yes, and notice AC. Laura Gibbon Voorhees says, I read your mind, Beth. I was just about to say, we've got an awesome group of cheerleaders here. Go. And we don't even have pom-poms. We have like invisible pom-poms, right? Because then they won't clutter up the house, right? Yay, AC, you did a great job. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? I think some people are afraid that if they praise somebody, that the person they praise is going to expand like a balloon and get a self-important and get into boastfulness. There's the fear of being too big for your drawers. My God, that was a phrase I grew up with. So they don't do it at all. And notice that can have a not so good effect too. That one persona is also offering, because we're all here to share, to learn. You can't control people's reactions, but you can control yours. Yes, I did my goals. My mother will not change, but we are always going. Yeah. And I offer to you, and this is from a perspective that I have not had all my life, so I will just share it with you. I find I am a lot more patient and understanding of my mother when I look at her situation of how she was raised. I look at her doing the best she can with the skills she has and her willingness or unwillingness to notice and change. I think it still is important to call people on it when they're saying hurtful things, because at least it interrupts the pattern right there, and it may have a cumulative effect, it may not, but it stops it right there in its tracks. Okay? And yes, so we're here for you, hon. Okay? Alrighty. Hey, here's a cool thing. AC Wild. My small accomplishments, no. Cross out the small. My accomplishments. Laundry. Yes. Rollerbladed. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Somebody recently was talking about wanting to learn how to roller skate. It was somebody last night. Who knows? Yay for doing that. Maybe it was you. I don't know. I'm bad with names. But yay for rollerblading. Joy. Got the flu shot. Yay for taking care of yourself. Did 2 other health concerns. Seriously, I am spending so much time in these next 2 weeks, last week, this week, taking care of my freaking human body. Got the flu shot. Went to the doctor. Just got some x-rays, got to go get my MMR shot, like all that stuff. Yay for keeping yourself healthy. Yay, good stuff, friend. Yeah, and the thing of trusting my internal magnet to stay with our own good nature. Yeah. Alrighty. So yay for you taking care of you and disrupting that pattern you have of looking for that validation from that one person. And yay for a long and healthy life. Quality years, not just quantity. Okay, so yay AC. Now yay Anne with an E. Anne says, so let's hang out with Anne for a bit. The closing on my mom's house was today. It's bittersweet. Yeah, notice that feeling. That bittersweet. It's sweet and it's bitter. And it's that Brazilian, bossa nova word of just kind of, but that big looming thing is off of her shoulders. Yay. So we're here with you, hon. We know the bittersweet of the decluttering, of the saying goodbye, of the letting go of the old to make room for the new, the lighter, the simpler, the easier. So yay. Yeah, and self-preservation all of y'all, is not selfish. And even if it is, call me Ishmael. I am selfish. I am taking care of myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a hell of a lot right with it. Okay, so remind yourself to take care of yourself. Self, it's a word. Use it in a sentence today. Clutter is not just about making things look good on the surface. There are some deep feelings that come up when you unroot your feeling, when you're weeding your garden known as your home. You think it's just the stuff on the surface, but I was just out in the yard. Some of those weeds have deep roots, and in order for you to make sure that those things don't grow again, sometimes you do need to dig a little bit deeper than maybe you want to or think you have to initially, so that you pull it all up and then it can heal or grow something better. I was really thinking about this, so I'll just share this with you. I am not one of our gardeners. Kara is a gardener. Probably a number of you are. It's not something that I do a lot, but man, anytime I show up in the yard and the garden, I am reminded of how organic and how much better it is as an organic approach. Okay, Laura Gibbon Voorhees is literally, we're on the same wavelength on, literally working on plants in the kitchen right now, temporarily making quite the mess. Yeah, I temporarily had, all sorts of dirt in my fingers. I offer this to you because I was thinking of it in the parallels of what's going on in the world, in our country, and a much more human, organic, natural, sustainable way of doing things. And think about it. In the garden, you have weeds and you have flowers. Deciding what you want to keep in your garden is like deciding the stuff you want in your house. Some things are flowers, some things are weeds. Making a decision of what you want, and then sometimes getting rid of the weeds isn't just pulling them off on the surface. It's going deeper and realizing that there's some roots, that your weed, the stuff you don't want, is rooted down somewhere, deeper than you thought. Now, if you don't feel like digging in deep, you may cut it off on the surface, but if you don't get the root, it's going to grow up again. That kind of thing is going to come up again. Kara, I love this. Kara loves the garden analogies. Here's a fun thing, Kara. I may get them wrong, so feel free. But what I realized too was when I am there and I am weeding, the way I do it, which is I look for the weeds and I'm digging them up by hand and I'm pulling them up and digging and pulling them up. It's slow. It's kind of tedious. Part of me can see why there's the appeal to some people of just throwing a bunch of poison on it and killing everything. Now, obviously, from my facial expression right there, that's not something I believe in. But think about it right now. It is so much easier to tear down everything and then say you're going to build again. But when you do that, you're also poisoning the soil. Some people just say, I want to get rid of everything. You don't probably want to get rid of everything. You want to get rid of some things. Some things are weeds, some things are plants. And I swear somebody is mowing their lawn right now because I live in suburbia. I offer to you that think about weeding your yard is like weeding your house. A weed at a time, knowing where the roots are deep and noticing where you can easily do things. Digging down for the roots, making sure, hoping you get the roots, so the next time that weed will not pop up again. Okay? It really is, and it's organic. It's better for the soil. You move at a slower pace because you're doing it by hand as opposed to some sort of poison or fire or whatever. But it's longer lasting. It's better for the soil. It's better for your soul to do it that way. So maybe my version of organic gardening is decluttering my house, is using that same application. Yeah. Now Design71 says shredding papers today. Some 10 years old, accumulated since my mom passed. both hers and my own piles. Yay, Design 71 for doing any kind of shredding. Shredding is like the version of putting the weeds in the yard waste toter that they're going to pick up next week. Saying, I don't want this anymore. Now, I let the weeds grow up in this one patch for a while because I thought grass was going to grow up. But what I realized was, much like in the house, the clutter started to take over and there was no room for the grass to go. So yay for you for learning that you didn't need those papers. Maybe it took you 10 years, but now it feels safe in your nervous system to do that. Yeah. Okay. So Robin Bird says, recovering from spine surgery. Oh, hon, I hope you're feeling okay. Need to declutter. Best way to organize makeup and brushes, etc. Now, a couple things about me. Again, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, but I also help with organization. But what I would say, Robin, before you even start to organize, because organize is kind of containerizing things and putting them in a place where you're going to be able to easily use them. Let's back it up a bit. Prior to even doing that, I would ask you, have you decluttered your makeup? Have you decluttered your brushes? And what do I mean by that? Is have you gone through that category and determined that you have the best quantity and quality for the makeup and brushes that you use today, regardless of what you used back in the day or how much the things cost. Okay, that's where I hang out. If you have, let's say you have done the declutter, you're like, yep, okay, way too many brushes. Okay, so notice, way too many brushes. So what I would do if I were, let's say, a consultant and I came and you asked me this question, I would ask you to walk me through your different brush using scenarios, okay? I would say, pretend I'm not here and I will observe you using these brushes. So you can be your own internal consultant. You get some distance. It's almost like you step outside of yourself and then you watch yourself doing this. And you notice the brushes that you organically, easily reach for to get the result you want. And that's a category of the ones that you use, I say on a daily basis, but notice that category of brushes I use every time I put on brushy makeup. Now, I don't wear makeup a lot, so notice that as a category. Those are the ones that when you are organizing them, you probably want to put those in a place where you can easily get them on a daily basis. What I offer is notice the ones you don't reach for on a daily basis. Now, depending upon your makeup routine, you may have times that you still use those way too many brushes that are not a daily brush. You may use those for special occasion makeup. I don't know. But look at them and ask, why am I not using these on a daily basis? A couple of things may come up, and this is one that comes up with a lot of people, so I'll share it with you. You may have purchased that brush hoping it was going to work the way you wanted it to, and it didn't work the way you hoped it would. But you spent money on it and you can't return it. So that is a category. So notice we just divided your brushes into 3 categories. The ones that you like and use every day and they're of good quality. The ones you don't use every day but you use them for special occasions. I don't know, maybe one has glitter in it and you only use it for Halloween or New Year's. And then you may have another subset that is, yeah, I tried this and it just didn't work out. But I spent a lot of money on it, or I spent any money on it, and it makes my nervous system feel uncomfortable when I imagine throwing them out, giving them away, that type of thing. So I would go through that slower, more observational, organic approach and observe what truly is a weed and what truly is an annual or perennial. See, I'm trying to get the gardening stuff back in there. Does that help? Does that help you, Robin? I hope it does. If it does, yay. If not, follow up with a question, okay? But hopefully that will give you a new way to look at that process. And it is slow and it is organic, but that's going to give you a longer lasting organizer than if you avoid that step and you still have all those brushes that are weeds getting in the way. Yeah. Every garden grows under different hands and different skies. Interesting, Al. Yeah. Good morning, Amy from Miami. Yes. Hey, this is cool. Kara sold her Haywood Wakefield, HW, Haywood Wakefield dresser where she had stored jewelry. She listed it yesterday. She doesn't need it because she's decluttering the jewelry. Okay? I'm just going to go shut my window. This is one of the things I offer to you. Remember I talk about making sure you're feeling good physically? I realize how easily distracted I can become by noises. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make this more of a decluttered environment, and I'm going to shut my window because people are doing yard work, okay? So I'll be right back. So notice what I did. I checked in with myself half an hour ago when we first started. Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach, at your service. Half an hour ago, it wasn't loud out. It was loud there. And instead of noticing when I started to feel that sense of annoyance, and then I did something about it. Yes, talk amongst yourselves. Little coffee talk, little Linda, or whatever her name was. Little, what was his name? Mike Myers. So notice what I just did. Yes, Ella's noticing I'm the same way with noise, especially the yard blowers. We live in a very noisy world. Our bodies do not adapt to our environment as quickly as we would like. So noticing that about yourself. I often, when I used to work in an office, would put in my earbuds even if I wasn't listening to anything because I was distracted by people's talking, and it made it harder for me to concentrate, to focus. And what I want to do right now is focus on you, not be like, God, I wish they would shut that up. Why the heck are they doing that? My God, notice all that irritation I just eliminated by simply shutting the window, by saying, I noticed something that I don't like, and I'm going to do something about it. Notice where in your life you can do that. Okay. Oh, thank you. Robin Bird said I was amazing. I'm just a Bill. I'm just here to help you with the stuff that I've struggled with myself, but I've learned a different way of thinking about things than I used to, and I love sharing it with people because there really is there are thoughts and feelings behind what you do. And when you kind of tune into that, when you dig deeper and see that there's some roots, the roots, you can get why you do it, and then you can decide to keep it and at least make a conscious decision as opposed to an unconscious decision about, I don't know why I keep that. And I want to say, yeah, you do. Well, I probably know why. I know that you know why, but maybe you're afraid to peek under and see, oh, it has roots. I don't feel like going so deep. That's okay. That's your choice. I never force anybody into coaching. You know what I mean? It's like you don't just throw somebody in there and demand that they do it. But if you're realizing what you're doing isn't working, I think there's going to be some roots there that are causing your clutter to be a little bit more sticky in your house than you thought, oh, I'll just pull that up. There's roots. But we can weed those roots. And it can be really fascinating to realize what's going on in your head and in your heart that makes your hands move or not. I previously used to say, oh, I don't have time. I only have 10 minutes. So instead of using 10 minutes in the garden, I will scroll on TikTok. But I realized that's not going to get me to where it's ready to put that grass seed in. So what do? I set my timer for 10 minutes and I do the weeding. And later on, I totally will scroll on TikTok. Getting curious about what is like the program that's running in your background, the script, the computer code, the if this then go to type of thing in your own body and in your own brain and your own nervous system is really, to me, interesting and fascinating. because this is also what is going on behind everybody else in the world too. And a lot of people do not care to look inward. They just project outwards and blame other people for their stuff. I'm saying it's a combo. Okay? Don't be afraid to look for the weeds, the roots. The roots may not be as deep as you think. Oh, is that it? Okay, noted. Now I can let go of it more easily. Now this is cool. For those of you who get bugged by noises really easily, Elle says, I've been using YouTube bird sounds in my earbuds to drown out the yard blowers, and it really helps. So I offer that to you as an idea. Notice, making your physical world better to make your nervous system feel better. And really, if you think about that, decluttering is reducing the visual noise, the noise that you see. And the reduction of noise that you see will also provide a calming effect for your nervous system. And with all that's going on in our world today, decluttering your home and reminding yourself to create an environment where you can heal from the craziness of the world and build your muscle that says, I can do something about what bugs me, is a really important, timely life skill. Okay? Yeah, Laura Gibbon Voorhees offers in that notion of noise bothers me in the car when I am finding a new place. Yes, because your brain needs to use all it can to focus on the task at hand. I have to diminish the nervous system input, fancy words for I need to turn down the volume on the car radio, right? Yeah, as opposed to radio on. Jonathan Richmond, anybody? It's radio off. Like I need to concentrate, and it's reducing the what do you call those sensory inputs by 20%. If you've got 5 senses, paying attention increases your ability to focus more on your eyes versus your eyes and your ears. Okay. Yes, and also knowing when there's a balance. And again, we go back to the nervous system all the times, but being nervous system as to when is enough information to stay informed and aware, but also not going too much. Again, notice that land of too much. The land of too much is too much food, too much alcohol, too much clutter, too much information running through my brain, too much information driving me insane. And freaking Sting was singing about that in the 80s. He didn't even have the internet. Notice that too much of anything can make you feel not good. When you realize that you're going over your just right point into too much land, the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can change it. Okay? Self-preservation is also not putting your head in the sand, but being aware of what's going on, but not hanging out there and draining your energy. Okay? Now, shifting gears a little bit, Lynn. Lynn is saying, now I may have missed your first thing, and I apologize. Lynn says, but I still have organized bins of things that I don't see, but, ? Lynn, I'm here for you. In between your 2 parentheses of butts, your two little butt cheeks, as it were, but this, but that. Okay? Give me some more details. Give me some context so I can help you with that. What I want to offer is a couple things, even with what you gave me. You can organize stuff, but it can still be too much. You can have it organized, alphabetized, color-coded, labeled, all that. What you may realize is you're not using what you have. The other thing, too, is when things I don't see, that kind of out of sight, out of mind, is a real thing, but can also be worked on. Okay? So give me some more details and I'd be happy to help. Okay? Angie Mack, nice to see you. Couple of things while we wait for that. Beth Decluttering Life Coach right here on TikTok for like another 20 minutes. Then I go right into another live, but it's on the YouTube channel. Now the Destination Decluttered on YouTube, same exact thing from here, but it is far fewer people that show up. Everybody is welcome. Everybody is welcome. You just need to be brave enough to change the station. if you want. If you can't, no worries. This TikTok and the YouTube live are, are recorded. And if you want to know the schedule for those things, it is at, you go to my website and you sign up for the email group. And the email group is the group of people who get access to the schedule of the lives, because I do lives almost every day, and there's a schedule. So if you like what you hear and you want to catch it live, it's what I call like the TV guide. Okay. Other couple of things real quick. Part of the email group is a subgroup of people who are interested in connecting with each other called the Pen Pal Club. Pen Pal Club people, we're having a party tonight. We're getting to know each other. It's just going to be like a meet and greet that I'm hosting on Zoom. If you want to be invited to it, you need to be on the Pen Pal Club list, which is the only way you can get to it is on the mailing list group. And if you want to be just able to be doing those things, DestinationDecluttered.com is my website, DestinationDecluttered.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page, put your email address in, join the club, you're in. You'll get the access to that. If you want to be on the Pen Pal Club and you're part of the email group, shoot me an email. Let me know what state you live in, because I think that's at least something that people might have in common. That's like a kind of an icebreaker, if you will. Okay. So that's a couple of things going on. What else? Decluttering party. The last decluttering party we have for this month is next Monday. Because next Monday is the last Monday of September, and then we're into October. All right. So all sorts of good stuff happening. Fun group of people. I love what I do. I'm here to help you. Okay, so kind of commercial break over. Lynn is saying, yes, it is still too much. So notice, Lynn, notice we talked about this, and I'll kind of back up. Think about your kind of, I always think of it very visually on my body, because I think of the fact of hunger is not enough stuff in your stomach. So think of your stomach as hungry, as being like, or those hunger pangs are like the feeling in your body of not having enough food, enough drink. So that's hunger, that's lack, that's absence of. Okay. We're not really dealing with that physically. A lot of that lack is in your head and in your heart. But what I offer to you is when you start eating, right? You start putting food in your belly and you don't feel that feeling anymore. And then you're like, ooh, this feels better when I have some good food in my belly. So oftentimes, if we're so hungry, we think, I may not get this again. I have still this lack mentality, as they say in the decluttering or the life coaching biz. So you may not stop when you have, quote, enough. Like, I feel good. And so what we don't, this is what we're learning, is the discomfort, the not good feeling of when we have hit our kind of capacity, but we keep on adding things to it and it starts to stretch and feel uncomfortable. Anybody who's ever eaten too much knows this feeling. You think that it's going to be good because it's all this great food in front of you, but it still makes you feel kind of, too much. So notice, Lynn, yes, it's still too much. So you are feeling that feeling of having too much. How do I attack the organized pile? Seems so overwhelming. Well, first of all, we don't attack here. We get curious. We weed the garden. We use a lot more achievable goals. What I will also offer is this. Attack and overwhelm are words that are going to kind of get your nervous system feeling overwhelmed. So I offer to you to quiet down your words, tone down your words maybe. Quiet down your nervous system, and instead of getting judgy and whatever, get curious. Okay, so Lynn, I will show you how to do this. And first of all, this is great. Kat Roby has got her green check marks there. She sent the pain estimate. She cleared the support email. She's doing the updating clinicians' profiles. All sorts of good stuff. Lynn, the organized pile of what? Specificity. Everybody here, specificity will really get you to an answer sooner. We can talk in vague words, but specificity will totally help. Okay? So what pile are you, a pile of nouns. What are the nouns if we're playing Mad Libs like back in the day? I have a pile of noun, and nouns. What are the nouns, Lynn? And I can help you more with that, okay? But notice, if you're the pile, even though it's organized, makes you feel overwhelming, still because it's that too much feeling. So we like to chunk it down. So give me 3 chunks, 3 categories to chunk it down into. All right? Now this is fun. Jen said, I was just listening from my bathroom. I threw away 2.5 cosmetics bags of old makeup. Thank you. You're welcome. But thank yourself too. Look what you did. Look at what you did. You listened, you learned, you decided to think something else that you hadn't thought before, which is, I can let this go. I hope it feels good, hon. I hope it feels good. You know? Yeah, why do I have so many makeup? Okay, I didn't need most of it. Okay. So I offer to everybody. Many of us have thoughts and feelings regarding money spent and also stories that we tell about things. Like Lynn, thank you for sharing this. So Lynn is struggling with some of my mother's things, category, father's old yearbooks, okay, photographs given to me to hold on for everyone. Alrighty, I get it. One of the things I want to mention to you, Lynn, to just put this in context is, because in case you've never heard me coach before, I like to look at clutter in 3 different layers, kind of from the shallow to the deep. And what you are describing right then is the deep end of clutter. It's the sentimental objects, okay? So notice, their surface level is on the surface. Not big stories, no big deal. I bought that at Target, that didn't work out, I got to put that away. Doesn't tell you stories, doesn't activate your nervous system. The next layer down gets a little bit deeper. You know, after you clear away the weeds that are on the surface, then you've got the ones that have a little bit of roots. And that's your stored stuff. Now, your stored stuff can still be stuff that doesn't really have a deep story, but the deepest clutter is sentimental stuff, and that is the most challenging for everybody. Okay? So, excuse me, I'm going to burp. Okay, I don't think I'm going to burp. Lynn, you are starting with the deepest, most heaviest layer. Okay? I'm not saying you don't have to do that, but what I will say is if you do not have practice, ooh, this is good. I have a visual, you guys. If you do not have practice using the small weights of lifting and making decisions about the surface clutter, the lightweight things, if you don't have practice using this, it's going to be even harder for you to get the heavier weight because your muscle, your decision-making muscle, is not used to saying, what do I want to do with that thing? Okay, so Lynn, a couple things. One is, how is the rest of your clutter? Is everything in your house organized and quality and quantity and everything in your house, loving it from the surface to the storage and you're only left with sentimental? Or is your brain immediately going to the hardest part of the whole process? If your brain is going to immediately to the whole part of the process, let's back it up. Let's go to the shallow end and teach you the process with things that aren't so emotionally charged. Yeah, see, this is the thing, Lynn. Not everything, but my friends think I'm a minimalist until they look in my garage. Yeah, you're playing minimalist, but you're maximalist in the garage, right? Yeah, notice the surfaces can look good, but it doesn't necessarily feel good because you know what's in the garage. This is okay. Everybody has a garage. Everybody has stuff in storage. Unless you truly are, I mean, here's the deal. I don't deal with people who are not because I'm a cluttered person who saves stuff. I'm not as cluttered as I used to be, but I still have, like that closet is filled with the family tree and photographs and stuff like that there. So you're not alone. But notice, you have gotten really good at making your surfaces look good, but the stuff that has roots, you're still struggling with. But let's go back to what you do well. You have decided on the surface, you have been able to easily answer the question, what do I want this to look like? And you've got the look. You've got the look. I want to know better. You've got the surface look. But going a layer deeper, what I would offer to you is it's the same question. What do I want? And also, if I don't want this, what could I do with it? Now, with stored clutter and sentimental clutter, those are deeper conversations to have with yourself, but I'm here to help you with the deeper conversations. And I offer to you, notice you said that you're keeping some of these things, but you're keeping them for other people. Now, I was just on a one-on-one coaching call with a client yesterday, and she realized that she was the oldest daughter of an oldest daughter of an oldest daughter of an oldest daughter. I am too. I have taken it upon myself to be the person kind of in charge of the family tree. I'm okay with that. It does not cause me to feel resentment or overwhelm. It is something that I'm okay with. But I offer to you is, if you are holding things on to everyone, start sharing those things with people. Don't wait until you're dead to have people start to see things. Get in the habit of sharing these items with the family. Take a picture with your phone of something. Say, hey, everybody, it's Family Tree Monday. Here's a picture of Grammy from 1972. Does anybody want this photograph, this hard copy of the photograph? Because I don't want it anymore. There's ways that you can deal with it, okay? I can help you with that. But just notice, just in very context, you're not alone. Everybody struggles with the sentimental. And it's okay to be apprehensive about it. Feel overwhelmed, we're going to chunk it down. All right? Now, I love this because the people who are struggling with makeup, ding, 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 I knew I hit it on the nose, because Angie Mack says money spent equals so much guilt for me, and Jen says the same thing. So notice what's happening here, that there is a deeper story rooted to your thoughts and feelings about money that is causing that makeup to be rooted in your thing, to not easily be able to just let go of it from the surface as if it was just on the surface so you can pick it up and move it. Look at where examine your thoughts about money that cause you to feel a certain way. I have done this myself, and I will share with you. It was something that never even occurred to me to do until within the last 10 years. Wasn't even on my radar. So I share this with you so you know about this, is examine your relationship with money. Why do I feel so much guilt for spending money on something? Spending money on something that didn't work out and then throwing it away. Oh, that feels wasteful. Oh. Notice those things can be rooted, and it can cause your clutter to grow roots, just like in a garden. Alrighty. Now, Kimmy L says, to get back on the memorabilia, sentimental, I put the memorabilia that I wanted to keep in a cedar chest. So yeah, you can keep it and say, maybe the only stuff I'm going to keep is what fits in this chest. Okay? Now, Twintastic is saying, I get stuck on looking at the big pile, knowing I have to make a bigger mess to be able to clean it. Okay, Twintastic. I want you to think of this, and everybody here, okay? Everybody here, I want you to think of this. Every process has a part of the process where things look and feel worse on the way to better. Think of human babies growing. There's some fun at the beginning, and then there's a part of the process which may be uncomfortable, but if you really want that baby, you put up with it. So think about cooking. Like, I don't have kids, but think about making chocolate chip cookies, Twintastic. You start with all these nice ingredients that are nice in a pile, and then you say, oh crap, it's going to be messy with flour and eggshells and stuff spattering. But at the end, I get the cookies. So yeah, if you're overwhelming yourself, that is part of the process. So I offer to you, Twintastic, and anybody who doesn't feel like it will look and feel, and here's the big word right here, temporarily worse. It will look and feel temporarily worse on the way to looking and feeling more permanently better. Okay, let me repeat that, Twintastic. If you get stuck with the thought, I'm making a bigger mess, know that, yeah, that is part of the process. In order to sort out your things, you usually need to spread them out a bit to see what happens. But it is a temporary mess. In order to see what you have, to see your inventory and pick out what you want, and then let go of what you don't want. So I'm just describing the process to you. The more comfortable with that you can be, then the idea of making a mess won't trigger you as much. Okay? So yeah, I hope that helps. Alrighty? Yay! All right, Lynn, I hope that helped. Yay, I'm glad it did. Just as a heads up, it's 11:56 a.m. I will be on TikTok right now for like another 4 minutes, but then we're continuing these conversations over on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. If you're interested in that, go to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I will show up moments after this. I've already got it queued up on my screen there. Alrighty? Now, I love this. Danny's Mess says, I finally went through my physical photos and threw out tons and tons after our last discussion. Okay? I hope that feels good. Start small, says Danny. If that helps, I'm going to do one drawer, one cabinet, one shelf, one tote, one envelope, just the coats. That is what we call chunking it down. Chunking it down. Please remember that, because it's one of the downs that I usually like to remind you of, because it's so helpful. Now notice, here's a real fun thing. We talk about making a temporary mess. Laura Gibbon Voorhees is repotting plants in her kitchen, and she's like, good Lord, if y'all could see my kitchen right now, but the plants look better and now have room for growth. So yes, part of this is making a temporary mess on the way to something better. Okay? All right? So notice that. Yeah. Yay. Hey, Christine. Beth's coaching is the best. She helped me learn to make the process fun. Yay. That is music to my ears. La la. I'm not here to show you how to do it the boring way. There are plenty of people who can make decluttering so boring that you're going to be like, I'm not freaking doing that. That's freaking boring. And I don't like to do boring things. I'm not saying that you're going to be all rah, rah, rah the whole time. But if you can make it be like, yeah, whatever, no big deal, that's a wonderful place to be. Or, yes, I'm going to have some fun in doing this. Okay? This is how I coach. I coach doing these TikTok lives, shows you gives you some insight in what it's like to work with me one-on-one. I do have some space on my calendar for some, not too many, but just the right clients. So if you're interested in that, join the Destination Decluttered mailing list group, and you can get access to that. What else? I'm going to sign off in like 2 minutes. But yeah, some fun stuff. We can make it fun. And if you're just learning about what I do right here, you can follow me here on TikTok. That's cool. The best thing to do, though, the better thing to do, is to join the Destination Decluttered email group. I don't spam you. I don't send you a lot of things. Like I just opened up my email box, and I see a lot of spam from some things I do like to get, but I do not. Ooh, I also saw something really fun. I do not like to get spam. Therefore, I don't give spam. I will send you an email that says, hey, look at this page on the internet and find all the information, and occasionally remind you of some good stuff happening. That's really all I do. I do not get into sales pitches and stuff like that because I hate it myself. Okay, so you can feel comfortable knowing that that's not what you're going to get if you join the mailing list group, and you get access to a lot of cool things that not a lot of people do. Okay? Aw. Yay, this is cool stuff. PM11208, Patty says, Beth is very inspirational. La. Without judgment. Judgment gets in your way. Don't judge yourself. Helps to pick up where you are. She's fabulous. Join the club. Yeah, in the club we all fam, okay? Get access to the secret page. Opal O. I love it. Okay, I'm going to sign off right now, but all I'm doing is switching channels. For those of you who want to, I'll see you over at YouTube. Please know also over on YouTube, there are hundreds of free videos you can watch that are recordings of these lives, so you can learn where other people have struggled that you may be struggling in the same way with clutter. And just remember, we're all here to help each other. You're not alone if you struggle with clutter, and there is help out there for when you're ready to change, okay? And I can help you with that, and I make it fun, okay? I'll see you over on YouTube. I Hasta la vista, babies.